Currently, there is only one herd of wild wood bison in the state of Alaska, and those animals number about 140 individuals as of this time, and they're found in western Alaska, along the lower Anoka River near the community of Shagala. So the species exhibited here at AWCC does kind of run the gamut for native species. There's black bears, brown bears, moose, gray wolves, red foxes, lynx, and of course the wood bison. The wood bison was found here in Alaska for many, many thousands of years, but then about 150 and 300 years ago they did go extinct in the state. We're really not sure why. Some think it was a combination of changes in habitat distribution as well as to a degree human hunting. After 23 years of working with a variety of agencies and the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, last year a number of wood bison were released into the wild. The reintroduction of the wood bison out into western Alaska was phenomenally important for a number of reasons. Realistically, it is one of sort of the last large animal reintroductions that can be done in the United States. This really was one of our last opportunities to return a native animal to high quality range anywhere in the country. And really, the entire project from every step of the way was a grassroots project because it depended heavily on local people who basically told legislators, yes, we want wood bison, we want them back here in Alaska. The effects of the reintroduction are still sort of being worked out. These animals have only been out in the wild for a little bit over a year now. The wood bison project began in the early 1990s. There was a biologist with the Alaska Department of Fish and Game who was up in northeastern Alaska, kind of speaking with a lot of the Gwich'in Indian elders up there, sort of getting ideas about historical game animal populations and traditional ecological knowledge and things like that. And in the course of talking to all these elders, he kept hearing over and over again how bison had been really important to the people who lived there many hundreds of years ago. It got him thinking, well, it might be kind of neat if wood bison were back into Alaska. This is the wood bison handling facility. From up here you can kind of get a good view of the whole complex. Basically the way a process goes when we are doing a wood bison handling is we'll run animals in a small group into this kind of main corral here. We'll get them milling around and then eventually kind of separate individuals off, run them through here, and then we start to run them through kind of this series of chutes here. And so what happens is we get an individual bison that goes up this chute, and then from there we will keep working it through the chutes one after the other. Each of these can kind of be sectioned off if need be, if there's multiple bison trying to come through too quickly. So again, we can separate individuals out. That's kind of the critical thing for all the data collection. Once we get to this chute here, this is where our scales typically are. We're able to get people on here, push this in, kind of keep the bison still, keep it restrained, get an adequate measurement of weight. And then from there, this whole process does culminate in this. This is what we call the squeeze chute, and it's a hydraulically powered, basically like a cattle chute that you see on a lot of ranches and things like that. The animal comes in here, is restrained by this kind of cage that comes down in the front, keeps the animal from moving forward. And then these two walls of the chute will actually compress. They won't harm the animal, they just kind of squeeze it, hold it in place, keep it from flailing around, hurting us, hurting itself. These panels, which are normally kind of standing up like that, obviously will come down. And once you have the animal restrained in here, that's when you're able to take your blood draws, give your vaccinations, whatever needs to be done in order to make sure that the health of these animals is 100% top notch, and then the animal's free to go. You released them out there into the wild, and within the first week, if you went out and watched them, you'd think they would have been out there for thousands of years. These guys had never swam a river or anything in their life, but they got out there and they were swimming back and forth across major rivers. They belong there, and they seem to know it.